really start moving. So hopefully everybody has their packets out, and we've got some notes up here on how to complete a packet. What you're going to do is listen to this video. Please use headphones so you're not being distracted by others and you're not distracting anyone else. These packets are all on Cornell Notes, which gives you this margin here to write any questions that you have. It also gives a little bit more room if you need to do some sort of figuring in the margins. After you've taken the notes, you will complete some of these practice problems, which I have here. So this is, like I said, this is a very basic unit, so there's not a whole lot here. The practice problems start here and then they finish on this next page here. And then I typically have some application problems for each packet. This one, because it's not even a full unit yet, this one doesn't have any application questions or problems, but we will get to those moving on. All right, so let's get started. So the first thing I wanted to review is solving equations. And so just to review that, to solve equations with two or more steps, we need to apply inverse operations in reverse order. And that reverse order part is pretty key. That's something that students can mess up if they don't remember it. So your inverse operations, that's the same as opposite operations. So the opposite operation of addition is subtraction. The opposite of subtraction is addition, and so forth. All right, so let's take a look at this practice problem right here. So what we like to ask is what's being done to the variable, or what's being performed on x. The variable here is x. So we have x is being divided by 2, and then we're adding 3. Okay, so if we were to solve something like this, we would solve top to bottom. We want to go in reverse order to solve. Okay, so we want to first subtract 3, and then we can do some solving. If you want to put that line down the middle, I know that helps some people, distracts others, so it's just a matter of preference. So we can go ahead and solve here. 3 minus 3, that goes away, that's 0. There's no point of writing that 0 out. And 19 minus 3 is 16. All right, now this is x divided by 2, so we are going to get rid of that 2 in the denominator by multiplying by 2. Right, so sometimes students get a little confused as to why we just cross this out, but really if we were to multiply this, I'm going to multiply this going to the left. If I were to multiply this, it would be 2 times x on the top, which is 2x, and 1 times 2 on the bottom, which is 2. We should remember that anything over itself would cancel out and equal 1. So we're left with 1x. All right, but hopefully we can kind of skip that part and just recognize that anytime we're going to multiply by whatever's in the denominator, it will just cancel it out. All right, and so if we multiplied by 2 on the left side, we need to make sure we multiply by 2 on the right side. And 16 times 2 is 32. So our final answer is x is equal to 32. Okay. Obviously, while you're taking these notes, if I'm going a little bit too fast, make sure that you pause so you don't get too far behind. All right. Next problem here, we've got f plus 2.5 divided by 3. A common mistake I would see with this problem is trying to subtract 2.5 first. This is a grouping symbol, so really what we would do if we were solving this, if f were equal to 2.5 as well, we would add the two numbers together and then divide by 3. So we want to actually get rid of this 3 first. So just like the problem before, if I multiply by 3, what it does is it cancels out that denominator. Okay, but we have to remember that if we multiply by 3 on one side, we have to do it to the other, right? All right, so we do that. 2 times 3 is 6. And I'll just update the problem. Just drop down everything else. So I have f plus 2.5. And because the denominator is now canceled out, these are basically both equal to 1, there's no reason to write that the denominator as 1. You could always have every number can be written as a fraction over 1. So that's just a little bit unnecessary. All right, so now we can do the last step, and if we have f plus 2.5 to solve, we need to subtract 2.5. And if I do it to one side, I have to do it to the other side. All right, so now this cancels, and I'm left with f is equal to 3.5. And there we go. All right, next problem, what's being done. And if you want to kind of write a little chart here, if that helps you out, we can do that. So what's being done to r? We are multiplying by 16, and we are subtracting 12, right? And we're going this way. So we need to do the inverse operation. So we need to divide by 16 and add 12. And we need to go this way. Ooh, I did right. I wrote 12 there. We need to divide by 16 and then add 12. All right, so if that helps you, you can absolutely do that. You should have some space in there. If not, just use an extra sheet of paper for the practice problems. But let's go ahead with this one. So I'm just going to rewrite the problem. 16r minus 12 is equal to negative 4. So I want to do this from bottom up. So I want to add 12 first. So I get 16r is equal to 8. And now I want to get r by itself. I need to divide by 16. Divide by 16. 16 over 16 is equal to 1. So I'm left with 1r on the left side, and 8 divided by 16 is 0.5 or 1/2. Either answer is fine. Okay, so I think that'll be it for this video. I want you guys to give let's see, here's your practice problems over here. You can skip this section. We'll just kind of go over those on my next video. And why don't you guys give problems 1 through, let's see, how about 1 through 10 a shot for today? All right, we'll see you in the next video.